Thank you so much for staying tuned to this channel. If you just joined us, this is TMI. You can call it this morning on ITV. Countdown to May 29, State of the Nation. That is what we are here to talk about. And I have a full studio, a full house. Sitting next to me is a legal practitioner, political analyst. Join me to welcome Barrister Dele Igbenegio. Welcome to TMI. I appreciate your coming.
Thank you for having me. Hello, viewers. It's a pleasure being here today.
Okay, still very close to him is Eki Festus, a political analyst and entrepreneur, a businessman. Welcome to TMI.
Good morning, Wednesday. Good morning, viewers.
All right. Honorable Odigye Wadiai, he is a political analyst, political commentator, another statesman. Yeah. Welcome to TMI. Appreciate your coming.
Yeah, good morning, viewers. Good morning.
Right. And of course, I have an astute legal practitioner, a political analyst, public affairs commentator, Barrister Emmanuel Obapolo. It's good to have you here this morning.
It's a delight being here. Good morning, Nigerians.
All right. Countdown to May 29, State of the Nation. I'm going to start off from my extreme left, Barrister Emmanuel Obapolo. Tomorrow is May 1. Though it's May Day, workers are beginning to count already. Time to hand over the State of the Nation, as you say it. How do you really feel before going to various segments?
I still feel the way I feel as an ordinary Nigerian, because since May 29th, 1999, we have witnessed transition since then. And the transitions we've witnessed from 1999 until 2015, when we witnessed the one that we are just now. And that came with a lot of promises, phrased promises, wherein the ruling party, the All Progressive Congress, told us that it was an epoch of change. And indeed, we have witnessed that change. And that change has put every one of us on our toes just now. So I don't see anything spectacular. I don't see anything magnificent. I don't see anything exciting about May 29 as we are counting from from today. Because over the years, we've been told something else, and the various governments we've seen, particularly this one, we have not seen anything different. Though they have come again to tell us that this time around is renewed hope. Then it means that there was hopelessness before the renewed hope. So I want to leave it at that for now.
All right, I'll come back to you. Barrister Emmanuel Obapolo. Honorable Owadia, do you share his views and opinions in this particular discourse, talking about countdown to hand over a State of the Nation? What's your innermost feeling about this?
If it's calm down or count down, let me first of all deal with calm down. From what we experienced recently during the national or general elections, we were admonished to calm down. Otherwise, Nigeria would have been burning. But the people's president-elect, Peter Obi, admonished the masses and the electorate.
Please, let's watch our words
calm
here.
down.
He is not the people's president-elect. Let's be guarded here.
I said the people.
You are one
what
of the
I
people.
say here is my personal
Even
opinion.
if it's your opinion,
you cannot gag
go
me.
against the umpire.
Good.
So let's be guarded for real.
You cannot gag me.
So please, let's be guarded.
Yeah. Now, Peter Obi admonished the masses and the electorates to calm down. And we are still calming down until the position that will be taken by the judiciary. And we were also advised to go to court. We are still waiting to get the outcome. Then come May 29th, Nigeria will now decide. Then counting down to May 29th, counting down for what? For an undemocratic election that was conducted by INEC, where INEC appointed a president-elect.
Okay, this is where I put my foot down. You are
Good.
letting your emotion to override your judgment. Now,
This is my opinion and the opinion of...
Even if it's your opinion, it's subject to scrutiny.
Good.
Let's be guarded.
Yeah, that's why you have other people here. That's why you have other people who can...
Even at that. Please, let's be guarded.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Now, the point has been made. What I'm trying to say in essence is that come May 29th, the election that we had where a president-elect was elected with less than 10% of the total vote, that becomes so undemocratic.
I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you. I'll like, want to craving this to please watch your emotions, because even if you're giving a valid point, your emotion will just make you not present it the way you ought to present it. If you say less than 10%, it's totally out of the chart, and it's not the fact or figure given by the electoral umpire. I'll come back to you.
8 million.
Festus, Festus. Calm down, because I'm beginning to feel the pulse of Nigerians, even here in the studio. But I'll come back to you. Please just put your emotions in check. Count down to May 29, State of the Nation, before going to various sectors of the economy and, of course, our other aspects.
I guess before now, we've said it that May 29, swearing in the president-elect, Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu is sacrosanct. And there's something I don't understand, or which I'm still trying to fathom out when it comes to Nigerians, is the fact that we think we can use error to correct an error. It is going to be more problematic. It's going to give us another level of problem. The election, to me, I don't know how people are seeing it, was one of the best elections that has been conducted in Nigeria. And if you're going to ask me, I'm going to give you a lot of reasons.
Many may have divergent views on that opinion, but okay.
Mr. Wincy, for the first time in the history of Nigeria,
okay,
a Fulani man voted for an Igbo man. I think if we have to go back to memory lane, if we study previous election, history holds it that an Hausa man, not a Fulani man, will not compete for an Igbo man. But we go to the northern states, we're seeing Peter Obi pulling votes. So if you are telling me the election is fraud, yes, it's fraud. They should go to the court and say that. So because the case is already before a court, I don't think we should be saying much about it now.
Yeah,
what I'm trying to say is,
down the pressure.
For me, as an historian, as a Nigerian, one of the elections that we've seen a collective voting, a situation whereby the northern voted for the southerner. We've seen previous election, like what happened in the same Anambra state, where you see people voting with sentiment. Are you going to tell me Asiwaju Ahmed scored less than 20,000 votes in a state where you have APC members, you have ESCOs, you have people going for campaign for him? No. So if you are telling me this party ring, why not look and see that the evil you are saying happened, it also happened there? So there is no need for us to start dribbling ourselves. May 29 is sacrosanct. The man I've told you before, he said, Milokon is my turn. Okay. And May 29, we are starting another Nigeria. A Nigeria where every person will feel the impact of government. Okay. A Nigeria where development will not be by region. We saw what happened in Lagos. A state that the federal government said, no, allocation is not coming. The man said, even if allocation is not coming, we have what it takes to maintain our state. So we are expecting more than a renewal from him, and he's going to do well for us.
Okay. When you are giving your point, the way they're just looking at you in the studio, be like, are you really sure? Well, you're going to give your own voice to that look, but it's really to the ambience of the law governing the airwaves. Barrister Dele Gbinido, you've heard the three speakers. They've given their own opinion. So what do you feel about this? Because taking a look at the countdown before we go deep into discussion. Generally speaking.
Well, I was certainly aghast. I was certainly horrified by the comments of my very dear friend, to my left, when he said that the last election was the best election Nigeria has ever witnessed. It was a nightmarish comment to me. But I think he's entitled to his opinion, no matter how skewed, no matter how indefensible, no matter how completely obnoxious it is. It is his opinion. You can hold an obnoxious opinion and live with it, and with all due respect, live with the consequences. Because for every decision that we make, we have to live with it. Nigeria of today is the decisions that people made previously. And that's what we continue to tell people. When you see good and you choose evil, you must expect that evil will replicate itself. The Bible says God cannot be mocked. Whatever a man sows, that will he reap. So this is what we have now in Nigeria. It's a harvest of our decisions in the yesteryears. Where, like you said, an Igbo man will not vote for an Hausa man, because divisive policies and politics were driven into the hearts and the minds of people. But people are beginning to realize that that is not taking us anywhere. We are beginning to realize that. And talking about May 29th, I am not looking forward to May 29th. I have to be honest with you. I'm not looking forward to it. I think it will be one of the worst days in the annals of this country. I think that, and you need to really...
you cannot say it's been the worst day, even if it's your opinion, because that's the day we are handing over according to our own history. Okay?
Oh, my God. Now, I appreciate that the problem that we have in Nigeria is that we want democracy without its components. We want democracy without the right to freedom of speech. We just want to curtail it. We don't want people to speak. We just want people to toe a line, and it must be an official line. You cannot have democracy where people do not speak. You can't have it. I know that there are all kinds of regulatory agencies that are watching what goes out in the air, but those people need to be regulated themselves because they don't understand the context of democracy. As long as I'm not saying kill somebody, I'm not saying shoot somebody, I have a right to speak. Speaking is part of the expression in democracy. And if I say May 29th will be a night, because, listen, sir, I have been on the street. I'm a street man. Yesterday evening, I was talking with a girl, and everybody you talk to, they want to leave this country. They want to leave. They are looking. Did you even know that Nigerians, we have students in Sudan? I mean, I was horrified. Sudan? What are Nigerian students doing in Sudan? Sudan? That place, Nigerian people will live here to go there to study. What are Sudanese professors teaching students? But that is to show you the desperation of Nigerians. I have a 10-year-old child who told me, Daddy, anywhere but Nigeria. She's 10 years old. She's already telling me, Daddy, anywhere. I will live anywhere but Nigeria. At 10. Look, we have a problem in this country. And with due respect to my brother, I think you are not a learned friend. I won't.
No, he's not a legal practitioner. That's
so I won't honor him with that dignity. But let's be realistic. A man who wants to be our president is just about when he's waiting to be sworn in. He's sick. He runs out to go and get treatment abroad. Clearly giving zero pass back to our medical system. Clearly, even before he becomes president, showing that he does not trust our own systems. Can you now whistle if you are unwell? With due respect, I pray you will never be unwell. Can you afford to just fly out? If you cannot fly out to get treated, why should somebody who wants to be president fly out to get treated? Right. If you cannot subject yourself to the same situation that Nigerians are going through, look, let's be realistic. This country belongs to all of us. Yes, some of us can decide, if I want to fly out of this country this evening, all I need is a ticket and I'm out. That's the reality. Most people can afford to do that. But is that life? When you go there, is that life? So I say, sir, with all due respect, that it's a nightmarish May 29th. Okay. Many Nigerians are not looking forward to it.
All right,
Go and feel the pulse of the people. I know you are here in the studio.
Thank you.
You are surrounded by beauty and all that. But we on the street, we know people are not looking forward to it.
Of course.
The man will be sworn in. Only he will rejoice. Many Nigerians will not join him to rejoice.
All right, thank you, Barrister Dele Ibenejo. Please, I'd like to urge us to watch our emotions, okay? Because as journalists, we do go out there in the street to feel the pulse also in the streets. You're speaking your mind, despite the fact that it's your own opinion. You have to be conscious of what you say per time because of national cohesion and unity. You know that it's among the rules and regulations governing the airwaves to enhance national cohesion. It doesn't mean that you are got to know, just follow rules and regulations. So now let's zoom in on this present moment.
Yes.
The election, it has come and gone. Those that want to go to court,
it has come, but it has not gone.
Hold on. Those that have objections already started going to court. So let the courts deal with it. Some people are saying that though is not a good, how will I put it now, president, but that is what it is for now. Let's take a look at Nigeria right now, before May 29. Some are saying governance has ended. What they're doing right now is handing over process. Do you fall into the school of thought, Barrister Emmanuel Bakolo?
I don't know whether we have a government before now.
Of course, we have a government.
I don't. When I hear the press try to gag any person that is speaking nothing but the chloroquine bitter truth. 2, try to impress the government of the day, I get more worried. Because everything we do in this country, this is the only country in the world where people don't like to be told the truth. People feel if somebody is in authority, the only way for you to show that you have respect for that person in authority is to clap your hands and legs and seek praises on that person. No, that shouldn't be it. For goodness sake, from 29th May 2015 to today, how has it been with all of us? Suddenly, we saw a drama during the period of the elections. The killings disappeared. The terror reduced. But immediately after the elections, the terror, hostility resumed. The other day we witnessed what happened in Benue. And today nobody is accounting for anything. Nobody is queried. They kill people at the way they want. They do anything. Nobody is asking any question. Only for few days ago, when the president and commander-in-chief was speaking, said, look, I will just wait until May 29th. I will just go to Niger and just rest there. I don't want to be involved in Nigeria politics. For goodness sake, what does that tell us? After ruling Nigeria for 8 years, the only choice you can make is to go to a neighboring country and say you want to rest there. Then
he said if they disturb him, he will go to...
Listen.
Yeah.
Who is going to disturb him? Even the president-elect now, few days, just like my learned senior said, you just immediately you were declared winner by INEC, you just jump somewhere and say you went there to rest. So it's an era of rest for the incumbent president. When he leaves, he will go and rest in Niger. The incoming president is resting somewhere, God knows where, pending when he will assume office 29th of May. And you say Nigerians should celebrate it. Nigerians should be happy because there is going to be civilian transition of government. I get worried by the second. I think of my children by the second. If I have the muscles to swallow through this kind of torment that we find ourselves, do my children have that? Can they survive this? Is it economy you want to talk of? Is it security you want to talk of? Even see the drama. Sudan. For goodness sake, Sudan. And somebody was bold 2 days ago to say, oh, Nigerian universities are ready to welcome Nigerian students and admit them into Nigerian universities to continue. But we found out that the medical school in Sudan is not as vibrant, or what was that language you used, like the ones in Nigeria. I begin to wonder whether these people think before they speak. Whether after they speak, they think also to know whether what they have said will stand the test of time.
All right.
So when you sum up all the challenges we have gone through in this country, I don't think we want to celebrate any democracy.
Okay, challenges about the president-elect going out to rest for medical attention. It's not a crime to be sick. It would be like you went to get treated, but you raise a valid point. What about our health sector? We'll come to that. We'll come to that. Honorable, I believe that right now your emotion is in check despite the heat and all that. Please calm down. Okay, I want to calm down.
I'm calming down.
Now let's focus on the security situation that is right now making some Nigerians to worry. He said an example of what happened in Kaduna and of course in Benue. Someone saying, look, this thing ought not to be, because during the election, like you rightly said, it was almost like nothing of sorts is going on happening in Nigeria. All of a sudden, after the election, it's like, damn. Do you think that because we have less than a month now to May 29, that's the reason why, so to speak, if they're really relaxing security architecture, are they resting on their arms? Over to you.
I don't think so. It has always been like this, right from 2015. Do we really have a government in Nigeria?
We do have government in Nigeria.
Some people will contend that the government has failed. The government has collapsed. And before the election, we have kidnapping, banditry, and many other vices that normally affects a democratic country. But at the end of the day, or rather before, immediately or during the election, those vices stopped. Like he rightly said, after the election, it resumed again. So what happened? Could they have negotiated with them so that we can have a peaceful election? And the president is saying, after the election, or rather after handover, I will move to a neighboring country. That portends that the man is more of a Nigerian than a Nigerian. When you look at the infrastructural development this present government did in Niger Republic, is more than what they in other Nigerian states. They constructed a railway station, and they took loan to construct the railway station. They built oil refinery, all in Niger. So, to me, Niger became the 37th state of Nigeria. So at Benishu, the man said, Buhari said, his relatives are from Niger. And Amechi said he begged the president of Niger to accept Nigeria to construct a railway station from Nigeria to Niger. Now he wants to go and rest in Niger. That's fine. It has become the standard. All politicians When they are sick, they run to a foreign country. When they need to rest after election or take a decision, I will guarantee you, when it's time for, probably when it's time for the president-elect to appoint his ministers or cabinet, he will go to London, because that's the best place for them to go and make the necessary arrangement. But be that as it may, Nigeria is our own country. Let us do the needful.
All right.
The time has come for us to face reality. This idea of zoning, giving into within the same clique, year in, year out, in every election. The man that is coming in, only God knows.
All right.
Just about 2 weeks ago, or less than 3 weeks ago, most of the politicians, they were zoning the positions to themselves. El-Rufai said he wants to be the director of NXA. Fashola and who was the other person? Said he wants to be the chief of staff.
All right, okay.
So they started zoning. So at the end of the day, what was the essence?
Okay, honorable, everyone do have the right to aspire. Let's look at that. They have the right to aspire. Just like everyone, you do have the right to go out there for medical checkup. But there's a caveat to that. What about our own health system? Nigerians are asking that question. Anyway, let me come to you, Festus. Hope you didn't take offense when he said he won't give you that honor of being learned. That's for the legal practice.
No. I mean, he's not a lawyer, so
I understand very
You
well.
understand?
I cannot be his learned
Good,
friend.
good,
I'm not a
good.
lawyer.
So the question is like, we have 3 dissatisfied Nigerians here in the studio, and they are saying that they're not looking forward to May 29. Let's take a look at the situation on the ground, talking about security situation. How far have we fared? I'm going to ask you the same question. I didn't relax on the arms because during the election it was peaceful. All of a sudden, after the election results announced, boom, the trend resurfaced again. And here we are, May 29 is around the corner.
Before I go to speak about the security situation, I want to say something about the health sector I was talking about.
Yeah.
That the president is sick, run down. I said, well, he was not too fine, run down. If you go to the southeast, the best hospital is not in Anambra State. The man sent per se was the governor there for 8 years. So if after 8 years, politicians are not running down to that same Anambra to go and rest because of the medical facility there, that shows how good or bad the man is. Now let's come back to the security.
Yeah, because P2B erected one powerful medical.
I said the best.
The best.
Go and check. Just check the best medical facility.
To be left since.
Is not in Anambra
Okay,
State.
so it's Anambra State.
Just check.
Okay.
You can
All
confirm
right.
it.
All
The
right.
best medical facility.
Which state
know,
is it?
No, hold on.
It's in Enugu State.
That's not the bone of
At
contest right
times,
now.
if you must lead,
Yes.
you have to lead by example.
Example.
The more reason why Asiwaju succeeded in the past election was because the man built a political bloc. And that's why you are seeing people coming to tell you, I want to be this, I want to be that. After fighting a war, we all sit to enjoy the war. But the problem we have in Nigeria, actually, the governments at the federal level contributed about 50% of the problem. We come back to our locals. Our local government, which we don't even have, courtesy of the state government, then the state governors. So if we are talking about security of an environment, security of the country, first, we should secure our home. We should secure our unit. We should secure our ward. Are you telling me President Muhammadu Buhari was the one that negotiated with bandits before election not to shoot, not to kidnap? No, he negotiated with the cattle rustlers? Or he met those in the southeast not to kidnap again? I asked a friend one day, I said, during the election, I was expecting that the southeast will have problem because they've been ranting. No election, no this, but that day they came out to vote. They voted for who they want, who they wish to vote for. So if we're talking about security, where 50% of the security apparatus, the system, rests on the shoulder of the presidency, the federal government, the other 50% rests on me, you, the governors, the senators, the local government chairmen, the councillors, and every other citizen. Because I don't believe the president will go around the 36 states and start negotiating with people. Don't shoot, or don't kidnap, or election is coming. So if we need the country to be secure, it's not going to be the work of Asiwaju alone. Why he's giving out the necessary facilities, why he's going to be on his toes to see that actually there is going to be security. What about what will happen in my local government, in my own ward? I am from Ego. It took we that are from Ego, the youth, in my ward now, Ward 5, to say, okay, this is what we want. You don't come and misbehave. If you try it, we are going to hold you. So how many communities have done that? How many local government have come out and said, okay, let's work hard a security artifact that will make us to be secure. So we shouldn't just go, rest everything on the shoulder of the president. We have universities, we are telling, okay, universities, our university system are not working. And every year, the same government will tell you, last year we budgeted also amount. And we've not seen professors coming out and tell us, no, they didn't give us the money. Even when they are budgeting money, we did not receive the money. If someone is giving a certificate he or she never worked for, is that the president's fault again? No. So if we must have a country that we are going to smile at, a country where the Japa syndrome will come back, while the federal government is working, we on our own, we should be working.
All right. And that really brings to mind Nigerians in Sudan, students. I felt that when the results, when the, how will I put it, that the news filtered into our newspaper, we have students, Nigerian students in Sudanese university. I was like, Sudan, for real? Anyway, Sudan, for real. Well, I was making this point about security architecture. You give me a kind of a look. But for what you rightly said, it said 50% may lie on the shoulder of Mr. President, but maybe 50% is upon the governors, upon individuals. After all, we have to, complement the effort of one and not forget also the aspect of security vote. Does it mean that right now, for what is happening, because May 29 is around the corner, have they stopped giving security votes to the governors to do their job? That's why these people now came out in their numbers to start terrorizing Nigerians yet again. Barrister.
Oh, is that me?
Of course you. It's like you're deep in thought.
Well, look, listen, it's a difficult time for me, because I try to be, I'm an empathetic person. I try to empathize with my friend as he struggles to try to, make those comments he made with the greatest respect that, we can't put everything on the shoulder of Asiwaju. I'm not even going to put anything on Asiwaju because I don't have any expectation. You understand? A man who is battling his own health. How is he going to have time?
It's not a crime for one to go for medical checkup or treat oneself.
You see that it is.
After all, Joe Biden underwent a procedure. He came out. So I mean, it's like let's leave this health issue.
Asiwaju is not Joe Biden.
No.
And it can never be Joe Biden.
You're talking about health. Someone went under the night, but he's still a president.
Okay, sir. Let me tell you something. You see, for you to go and play football, must you not pass through a health and fitness test?
Definitely.
For you, if you go and take a lawyer now, you enter your lawyer chamber, and the lawyer is like this. I'm not well. Will you brief him to handle your case? You will sympathize with him. You carry your file and walk away. If you want to enter a taxi, and the driver is saying, "Oh, where are you going?" Uselu, okay, enter. My head, Will you not say, this one, I don't think. Let us be realistic. A man that is sick, his primary concern is his health, not your well-being. And a president, the primary concern of the president should be the well-being of his people, not of himself. So we are not saying that a
He
man
has
should...
gone for treatment. He's back now. He's in and
He
happy.
came back.
So what is wrong with
Look,
it?
you see the difference between Joe Biden and this man. If Joe Biden has a heart bypass, he will tell you, I went for a heart bypass. Even while he's in hospital, his spokesman will come and say, Joe Biden is having a heart bypass. When Ariel Sharon, I think that's his name, the president of Israel. Was in hospital, cameras were outside. We knew the hospital. Periodically, doctors will come out. And that is what you go through when you go into public service. You can't sneak out, and some say he's resting. Some say he's doing this. So you won't tell us. Then when you come, when you raise up your hand to
All
greet...
right, now, back to the security situation.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
You see,
Security
it's
situation.
all connected.
Yes.
It's all connected. When you raise up your hand, we see, what do you call this? This thing they used to do...
the IV,
blood transfusion. Yes, and then we see it inside, and then you tell us.
It doesn't really matter.
You see, this is where it matters. If you are a student in the class, your lecturer comes in, wants to lecture you, and as he's teaching you, you are seeing some pipe all over him. What confidence do you have? You see, people may say it doesn't matter. And when the man is lying down, he can take decisions. Look, the presidency is not for sick.
Okay, back to the security situation right now.
It's all connected. Because right now, we have had, you see, this is the only country where people are afraid to admit their failures. If this APC government had come out to tell Nigeria, look, we are sorry, we couldn't deliver. We are sorry. You are inflicting. Why do you think we have bandits in Nigeria? A lot of people who are bandits, is it not because of the condition of the country? If not that I have a training, will you and I not become bandits? If we don't have food in our mouth, we don't have food to feed our children, you wake up in the morning, there's no hope. Let me tell you something, sir. In England, when I was practicing law, when I shut down my firm, these are all connected to security. When I shut down my firm because of the global economic meltdown and I re-engineered it to become an immigration law practice, the Law Society of England was paying me £1,000 every month. And when I said, I don't need it again because I have now, my immigration practice is now okay, they came to check and asked me, are you sure? If you think you are not sure, please let us know. I said, no, I don't need it. I'm okay now. If you have something to feed, will you be thinking of banditry? These are all connected. When you have a failed government, then you have all these militias. It's even here now, we are relying on vigilante. The man is saying that in Ego, they had to take, have you seen a country where civilians will come together and say, we are going to take care of our own security? It is just a sign that the security apparatus of the government has failed. And we are running away from it. We don't want to admit it. That what we are doing has not worked. It has not worked.
All right.
We need a change.
All right.
And can I quickly add a flavor to what he just said? Just a point. Just a point. Because I don't want to forget.
Honorable, hold on. You will not forget to get to your turn. Just calm down, please.
Civilians now are not the one taking care of their security.
Over to you, Barrister Emmanuel Obakolo, because he raised another point. He's not taking us to economy. So the things are right. Many battles will not be bandaged today. From now to May 29, the economic situation. What's your take on it? Is it getting better?
I don't want to be pessimistic, but I think that is the only situation available for me just now. It will get worse.
It will get worse.
You know why? The same persons who have been in government are those we are going to see in this incoming government. The same persons. Because already the lobbying has started. And the reason why many of them came together to agree that it is Emilekon like the APC man said it just now, is because they want to transfer what they did in this incumbent administration to the incoming one.
But have a different man in charge.
Different man in charge, no different man in charge is not going to be any different.
This was the man that said
Because-
he turned Lagos around.
Turn Lagos
When I
around.
hear people say turn Lagos around, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's not the same Lagos some of us visit. I'm not resident in Lagos, but we visit there. The only thing I see in Lagos is federal government presence in terms of the road, federal roads. Even if you go to Lagos state roads owned by the state government, nothing. The only man that tried to do the revival was Ambode, the former governor, whom they said was not a party man. Because the man came out from the Emilekon dynasty. I said, I don't want to belong to that dynasty any longer. Let's leave that as. See, when you look at
The economy.
when you look at the person in power, you will know whether there is going to be prospect of prosperity or not. You will know. When we talk, people say, oh, don't talk about the health side because God is the one that gives good health. This. Look, if you are not sound in health, how do you put on table those things you say you want to do? How do you do it? We are talking, we make comparison with Joe Biden, we make comparison with other presidents of the world. How is their system? As America is today, or some of the nations we mentioned, even if they don't have president, things will still go well because there is a system. But over here, none, because the politicians deliberately destroyed it and weaponized poverty, because that is what they think. That is the tool they think they can use on Nigerians. And that is where we find ourselves today. Somebody has come to tell us renewed hope. Renewed hope on what? When you cannot even guarantee you taking care of your health here in Nigeria. The Lagos state they claim he built. Is there why can't he go to a hospital in Lagos state and take care of his health?
Exactly.
So all this talk of I did this, I did that, you don't need to say them if actually they are on ground. The people see Nigerians are people who appreciate. When you do it, Nigerians will be the one that will say no. And that was why Nigerians needed a difference. You know, they told us change in 2015. But we've come to see that change makes no meaning. If I have opportunity to tell those, the drafters of the dictionary, I'll tell them, remove change. Because Nigeria's government has made change of no meaning. But here we are. The wealth economy. Who are the team he's going to assemble? Who are those that will constitute members of his cabinet and kitchen cabinet? Is it not the same persons we have seen? I just hope that we are not going to experience another 9 months to appoint his cabinet.
Nobody prays for that. Nobody prays for that. Honorable Batu, you have a lot to say. Take it up from there.
Yes, I have a lot to say in terms of the economy and the security. First of all, the gentleman said in Ego or Ward 5, they now formed a vigilante.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
And that is a pointer that the security apparatus has failed us.
If you use the word
And
fail, what do I use the
failed.
word? They are not
They have
enough.
They have failed.
As per
us.
manpower.
Yeah. And be that as it may, coming to the security, okay, before the economy, the same thing happened in 2015 when Buhari was first elected. The man came in as a sick man. When you look at his physique at that time, it was more of like, so to say, a dying man. But he started traveling to Saudi Arabia, to Germany, to Belgium, and all whatnot.
And he recovered very well.
At the expense of government.
At the expense of government. He stayed out of the country for months. Then he was now ruling the country through proxies. Now, the same thing is about to happen again. Buhari never believed or have confidence on the health sector. Asiwaju Bola Tinubu is taking the cue. So because I'm going to continuity from what the incumbent government is doing. So he's also doing same now. After the rigorous exercise, election exercise, he jetted out of the country to go and stay in France. They told us that he was on his way to Hajj and he never showed up. They told us that he was going to London to rest. His whereabouts was unknown to anybody until he came back with IV tubes all over his body.
If you use the word all over, you're exaggerating.
Well, my brother, we saw this. Who knows? Probably he had another one. He had a.
It's not
my brother.
Exaggerate or insinuate. There are signs of maybe 1, 2.
I have freedom of speech. I have freedom of speech. I can say whatever I want to, whether you agree with me or not. It is obvious. He had IV on his body, whether you like it or not.
All over his body.
All over his body. Because there's a tube that we run. We saw the pipe, and there's a tube. It's all over his body. You can't just put tube. So I'm coming. And at the end of the day, we are going to continue to repeat the same thing that happened in 2015. All of a sudden. When Buhari came back from the last trip, a Buhari that was right-handed became a left-handed individual. That's a story for another day. Now, let us go to the economy. Let us go to the economy.
Yes.
Buhari, you see, like he also said, we are going to use the same old politicians. They started lobbying for the same, for positions. Less than a month ago, the CBN printed new money before election. Printed new money. Where is the money? And to my utmost surprise, we have lawyers, so-called the learned people in this country. No single one of them has sued CBN to tell us where the money is. No 200, no 500, no 1,000 naira. What happened? And the CBN expended over 400. They said they printed 400 billion dollars naira to print. What now happened? All of a sudden, the money disappeared.
Hold on. Calm down. Hold on, please calm down. Look, we are in the public space.
Yeah.
You talk about the new money.
Yeah.
I used some new words yesterday night. Here.
How many?
It doesn't really matter. Let's not talk about
400 billion naira?
Look, let's not exaggerate, please. There's a reason for it.
That's what they say. I'm not exaggerating. They said they were supposed to print 700 billion. But because of a lack of materials, they printed 400 billion. Show me the 400 billion new redesigned notes.
All right.
They all disappeared. And that's the economy. So now you are going to continue with that same. Do you know what we Nigerians went through? And that, during that, scarcity, people were unable to feed. People died. Now, you want to continue with the same government. It's an extension. Okay. Bola Tinubu is an extension of Buhari. Right. So that is why we are saying, Labour, we want to take the government back and give it to the people.
All right, I will come back to you.
We are tired and sick.
Honorable, I will come back to you. Now, talking about the new notes. Look, we are not here to exaggerate. Yesterday, I made use of the new notes. So
how much?
It doesn't really matter because you said it has all disappeared. We're not here to exaggerate, please. Let's be guarded. We're on national TV. All right?
Are you from Nigeria?
Of course, why not?
I doubt it.
I'll come back to you. Please, despite the fact that we are feeling pangs or feeling pains, is not enough for us to color words out of context. I know you may want to explain, but exaggeration is not that. If it's not permitted on air, give us the way it ought to be given. Because when you tend to like exaggerate, it tends to make, I don't really know. So please, let's be guarded. It's not on everybody. That's the truth about it. But we are talking about May 29. Someone said renewed hope. You've had 3 of them. They're giving reasons why they're not looking forward to Asuwaju's, taking over power. Talking about the economy as it is right now and your own projection when he enters office. Do you think there'll be any difference? Because they're saying that there'll be no difference because they're saying the same crop or the same caliber of persons that are in this administration working with the president-elect Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. First, over to you.
Let me start from the Ego security example I cited. You see, in Nigeria, we believe many things are local. But we've not been able to bring that locality to whatever we do. Everybody want to run down to the US, to the UK, and we'll get there, we're happy. Although in some countries, it never took them time to get to where they are today. But the reason why US is what it is today is because systems are actually working. And if you check why systems are not working, you and I contributed a lot, not just the government. So why we are blaming the government? Let's first, all of us, Nigeria. I'm not talking to we that are in the studio. I'm talking about Nigerians.
We are all Nigerians. All of us in the
Let's
studio.
first
We're all
check
Nigerians.
ourselves.
Yes.
A friend of mine said, whenever nobody is there to check you, when you are driving, you get to the traffic light and it shows red, you keep going. You are a Nigerian. A U.S. citizen will not do that.
He will.
He will.
Yes.
Many U.S. citizens are also corrupt.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, now, where are we?
You know
in
why
the
they don't
US,
do it?
I'm coming, sir.
Rule of
Hold
law.
on. I'm coming.
Hold on.
Rule of
He has
law.
the floor. He has the floor.
In the U.S., people give information to the police to operate,
And the police will protect them.
and the police will protect them.
Try it here.
Now, in Nigeria, people are still doing it, sir. People are doing it.
With the police protected.
What we have in the vigilante in each locality is not to persecute you. I don't think any vigilante man has persecuted any person. Like, we caught a thief here. No. What you do is when you catch the thief, you are going to hand it over to the police. And there are cases we have to monitor to make sure that this thief is not coming back to the society. At times when we speak about Nigeria, it looks as if Nigeria is the worst country in the world. No. There are corruption in U.S. We have friends that go to U.S. with illegal passports. They get their work with illegal paper. So that's U.S., not Nigeria. So if we must have the Nigeria we envy, first, as the citizen of this country, let's be frank. This man is a saint. This man is not a saint. What are the principles you've seen in him that make you call him a saint? What has he exhibited to you? That's why you're calling him a saint. Then this man has exhibited these things, that's why he's not a saint to you. Asiwaju has never been a president. Going back to Lagos State, he ruled. If you are to compare Lagos with the labor you are talking about, there is a big difference. The difference is very big. So, I am not expecting anything less than a renewed hope from him. I wasn't among those that supported PMB. I never supported him. But when I became a member of the All Progressive Congress, he is my president. And as the leader of the party, I have to respect and support him. But truth be told, PMB has failed in some areas. Just like when we talk about governors, we have governors we celebrate today. We don't celebrate them because we've given them 100% performance. We celebrate them because they've been able to bring us some light They began to bring out some developmental stride that people think wasn't possible. So when the economic as it is now is not too good, we are so sure. Under the watch of Asiwaju Tinubu, the economy is going to blossom. A lot of changes are coming. Don't just expect Tinubu to pick politicians the way they are clamoring for it to be in the hem of affair. No. And one other thing we need to do as a country, it is not working, it's not working. For some things to work, there must be a level of research. I keep saying it in this hair. How many of these men that are telling you this is how it ought to work have carried out research and put it on documentation? And say, okay, this is what I've seen over the years. I contested an election and I lost. And I told myself, this is going to be a research work for me. I sat down, bring out my experience. At the end of the research, I tried to provide a solution to it. In this past election, what I saw was what some persons that contested came back and said, and I saw it, meaning these things are unique. So what are the solutions? The solution begins to come out when we begin to put them on dialogue. It's not going to be easy because the forces that don't want to live there are much more than us that want to be there. Another thing we need to do as a country, not just coming to here to talk and talk. How many of us are actually playing the inclusive politics? Now, let me go back to what happened in this same Ego, in the rerun that was held. People were shouting LOP from their house, while one of the disciples of LOP were being marginalized. He was drove out from the police unit, coalition unit.
Anyway, let's...
No, I'm coming, sir.
No,
if we must bring about changes, it must be an inclusive one. You don't sit down in your house and say Nigeria is not good, Nigeria is not that. How many times have you gathered people, a symposium? How many times have you called for a seminar? Educate the people. This is what we ought to do. This is how it ought to be. If government is not working, like I guess you were the one that said CBN brought out money, the money we are not seeing it. Lawyers have not, I haven't sued CBN. I can sue CBN. I must not be a lawyer to do that. Apart from the people who call SERAP, I guess it's a non-governmental organization. There are people that are trying to bring out forces. When they see government policies that are not enviable, that are not ideal, they want to tell you, no, government, we are going to call, we are going to this. But why they are doing it? Are they getting the support they actually need from the people? No. Someone will tell you, I go chop, we're not going to do this one. There was a time we said, okay, this road is not good, let's protest. Someone going to work will tell you, me protest. If I don't work, I don't go chop now. So as a Nigerian, we shouldn't just come and say, Tinubu this, Tinubu that, PMB this, PMB that, in our state. Okay, this is Edo State. When last do we have a local government chairman? But everybody, we are very comfortable. Nobody is talking. Meanwhile, the constitution said 3 tiers of government. So before we go and start fighting the federal, let's make sure our local government, our ward, our unit, our state, we are trying to reposition it. How many of you call Gold University and said, for the past 3 years plus, you have less than 2/3 majority passing these into law. Why is it like this? Why is it that INEC refused to conduct the election or the governor as it is? Give another proclamation. Nobody. We all sat down. You're not concerned me now. If you good, it good. But we will not go back and say, federal government, the same federal government, the same PMB we are talking about was giving allocation to all states, and they were eating it, they were receiving it. It took Wike to come and said, money like this came. That's why I'm having projects I'm doing. Go and ask your governors. So what I'm trying to say in this sense is, if the economy is going to good or not, as Nigerians, we must play a role. Asiwaju is going to try his best. I'm so sure about that. I am a realist. And as a realist, there are things we see that make us believe on some persons. So if I believe in him, I'm not believing on him because of political alignment. I believe in him because I have seen how the man have hold his way. 93 till now. A lot of politicians went into oblivion. Some are no longer in the space. The man came out and told the people, it's my turn. I have to believe. He was the man that when others were being selfish, when they were sleeping, he built political blocks. He was having friends around the country. He did not win because he had power, no. He won because he had people that could speak on his behalf. I cannot go to Abuja today.
All right.
Permit me to say this. I cannot go to Abuja today to ring an election. Even if I am to ring an election, I need someone in Abuja to do it. So politics is not about the way we just see it. It's simple, is that no. There is a man, I told people, if he had won and he became the president of this country, we're going to be in problem because politics need doggedness.
All right. Thank you so much. I'd like to speak out loud because so it wouldn't be as if someone's like, say he's just the only one here. Let's allow him to like expound his views and opinions. You heard him. He said, though he's in the APC, you see so many persons, he is different. He's a man with ideology that will just take us to where they are because of his antecedent and of course his political blocks and of course friends. That is not all that are lobbying for positions will get it. What do you feel about this? Barrister Delek Benedict.
Oh, me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I listened again very avidly to when he was speaking. I got a few things, beneficial things. And the first is that when it came to the issue of discussing the economy under, this government and the government that is supposedly coming, I could see him dodging the subject. I let them,
In what ways? In what ways?
He completely evaded it. He kept, rambling on and on without talking about the economy. And I think the reason is obvious. The reason is obvious because, like we all know, the economy of, as events have unraveled, as documents have shown, that a particular man had a drug-related conviction, and he had to sign what we call a plea bargain now in Nigeria. So okay, I give up this part of my loot to the government so that they can let me go. That drug issue. So you look at a man's past to know where he will go in future. So we expect a lot more of that, going forward, that the drug trade in Nigeria, illicit drug in Nigeria, could boom because...
Barrister, come on.
No,
that is one deep negative assertion which I would not want to, allow viewers to absorb it or crying out loud. Though you're not direct, but we all know where you are going to. Come on, Barrister. Okay. That is a low blow. Very, very low. I would ask that on air, please.
Okay. All right. Let me backtrack a little bit from that. Let's look again at the man's antecedents, because you look at his antecedent to decide what he's going to do in future. In Lagos, the areas they say he built Lagos, he came up with a brilliant idea, very brilliant, but very cunning. A gazette. All the areas, Morocco, where is currently Lekki, he acquired it for public purpose and called it a global acquisition, that government want to use the place. So they chase all the people out. And now if we go there, I'm sure you see all the government facilities there, right? You see, if you go through all the Lekki area, you see government facilities. Will you? No. No government facility there. They were all given to private developers. All of it. Given to private developers. So now, what comes to my mind is, Nigerians are in for a what do you call this thing? There's this thing my children go on, and I say, look, I won't go them, I won't follow them.
Roller coaster.
Roller coaster. Nigerians are in for a roller coaster in the economy, because there's no economic formula that is going to be applied by this same government. But I'm not here to bewail, and I don't want to disagree with anybody, which is why when you say I should backtrack, because I'm hoping to contest an election soon, so I don't want to offend anybody. I'm not campaigning. I just say I don't want to offend anybody. I want everybody to be nice and kind. But again, I cannot just tell people pretend, because we have pretended for too long. Nigerians are suffering. Oh, Nigerians are suffering. We are in a bitter period. In a bitter situation. There are people who cannot afford to eat. Meanwhile, our governments are talking about flying abroad and flying back and flying abroad. And Nigerians are seeing them. Do you think these Nigerians are blind? You tell him, oh, don't worry, the economy will be good. And then he hears you're on a private jet, you have just flown. You have just flown back. You have gone for medical treatment. And his own father is a UBTH. He cannot afford to pay. How do you think that makes him feel? So, in talking about the economy, I do not have any, because I have looked at the plan of these people, this so-called government that they are going to inaugurate. They have no economic plan for Nigeria. It's still the same grab, from what I see. Because what they did in Lagos is what they are going to do. And their acolytes have always been, copying them, which is why I sympathize with my brother, because he's blaming the government of the day in Edo and saying, we're Edo. And why I mentioned that point about contesting is because he asked, how are we involved in inclusive politics? Because it seems like we are all armchair critics. We are not armchair critics. We are solution providers. And we know the solution. All we need in Nigeria, with due respect, a government that is people-centric. A government that feels that is people-friendly. This government that we have is government versus the people. Once they are elected, they see the people as their enemy. What do we get money from them? How do we tax them? Lagos has the highest and the most brutal revenue generation system. If LASMA catches you, and oftentimes for nothing. If your vehicle breaks down, my vehicle has broken down on 3rd Milan. Well, not my vehicle, a vehicle I was inside. Broke down. I was going to court. And then they came, they told it. And they said they are going to give a fine. Why did your vehicle break down? You want to fine me for a vehicle that broke down? I mean, what do you want me to do? The vehicle broke down. So that's the system they have put there. That's the system we'll see in Nigeria, where Nigerians will be taxed and levied. And one thing I'll be glad about, we will not be only one paying it. My friend too, you will also pay. Because you are in Nigeria. If they catch you, you will pay.
All right, well, just hold on. I want to go for a break. We'll return. We'll continue this discussion. Countdown to May 29th of the nation. You've heard from them talking from their mind, sometimes mixed with so much emotions. Despite that, they have to follow some regulations governing the airwaves. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Thank you so much for staying tuned. If you just joined us, this is TMI. We're taking a look at countdown to May 29th, State of the Nation. Analysts will be speaking out loud, speaking their hearts, the way they view things, and to see if there is a semblance of hope. After all, is renewed hope in the incoming administration. Gentlemen, thank you so much so far for your opinion. We'll I'll be commenting on this and to the final stages, so to speak, of this particular discussion. May 29 is sacrosanct. Renew hope, according to some persons, is sacrosanct. To some others, is going to be the same old story. What's your own feeling about that slogan, renewed hope?
I don't know, we see whether you now borrowed May 29 sacrosanct from the APC man here. I don't know what is sacrosanct.
It is sacrosanct because it must
May
happen.
29 is like every other day. It's like every other day. It's like every other day. It's like every other day.
Are you calling with the May 29 idea or what? Is that what you do right now?
It's not when they target that May 29 is sacrosanct, they try to make it a special day. But even the incumbent president has made us to understand that May 29th is not really sacrosanct. That's why he chose to remove Democracy Day that we know with May 29 to 12th of June every year, true of us. So be it as it may, when you look at the indices on ground, the indices, Nigeria is heading nowhere. And we pray that judiciary will do the needful.
Thank you so much, Barrister Iman Obapolo. Nigeria is heading somewhere, definitely. Honorable, over to you.
There's nothing so special about May 29th. To me, it is business as usual, and a continuation of APC government, Buhari handling the baton to Asiwa Bola Tinubu. And at the end of the day, who's going to celebrate with him? Nigerians or just only himself? And I think the latter will carry the day. He's not going to have anybody to celebrate May 29th with him. And if we continue and with the way people are lobbying to become part of his government, Nigeria has to nowhere, and it will be business as usual.
All right, thank you for your opinion, but we're heading somewhere, definitely. And May 29, yes, it is sacrosanct because it's going to happen. It's definitely going to happen. I believe we should be optimistic. We should be optimistic. Festus, your last line.
After May 29, Nigerians will understand that 1999 till now, we've never had someone like Tinubu Ahmed, because the man is going to be a game changer. And I want to talk to my fellow leaders here. Let's be positive about this country. Because if we are not positive about the president, we are not positive about the country. It only takes positivity to achieve a lot. While we, the all progressive countries, APC, pray for him to succeed, Nigerians should also pray for him to succeed. Like what they said, if it's hot, it hurts everybody. So that is going to be a great day for me as a man, because the man I supported will become the president. And we expect good policies from him.
Good policies?
Yeah.
Okay. Outside what you're experiencing right now? Is it outside what you're experiencing right now?
See.
Or brand new policies?
Brand new policies. We're talking about the Naira redesign. The reason why the old money is in circulation was because Asiwaju and some others, the likes of El-Rufai, said no to it. So this man is a man that actually understands the people. I, as an individual, I have my fears about every human. So when it comes to him, there are things I expect from him, because not until it bites us, we are not going to have it enjoyable. There was a president of blessed memory, the late Mama Gaddafi. While he was in Libya, people were complaining, this, that, this, that. He wrote a book, the Green Book, and he said Africa is a unique country. The president of America can't rule Nigeria and succeed, because our complexity is different, our issues. Systems are working there already, but here it's not working. So when that man wrote that book, he gave out the characteristics, the charisma of a man that can rule Africa. And those characteristics are embedded in Asiwaju. So I'm not having a problem with him. He's not a president that will tell you, 7 chiefs, relocate to Borno, you say no, you're in Abuja. He's not a president that will tell you, do this, and you say no, you can't do it. So as a man that has seen politics, he knows how to position this country. And people just have this belief that it's going to be ministers are going to be politicians all through. No. Some persons that are mastery of their work, of their profession, will be coming to take over some ministries. So, I, as an individual, I'm not having problem. Definitely some politicians will be paid back for their work because he succeeded because some person worked tirelessly for him. So those ones will be paid back. They're going to get ministerial slots, but not because you are not going to be secretary to the government because you wanted it. No. He's a man that you can't dictate for. He's not a man that you come and tell him, because I have worked for you, I can handle this. No. I guess he had people he believe on. He had people, he actually know that this thing, when I give it to him, this man can deliver. So Nigeria after May 29, we are going to have it rough first because there are issues that need to be resolved. Yes. No, you shouldn't laugh. I'm giving you the, I'm telling you what will happen. It's going to be rough. But 6 months after, we're going to have the benefit of having him as a president. When he came first, after winning, he said something.
Calm down.
I'm coming, sir.
After 6 months, I'll call you back here to defend him.
I will be here.
The way you are saying,
No, look at what he said.
I'll call you back to defend
After the
everything you are
election,
saying.
he said first, youth and student loan will be coming. Not bursary. He said youth and student loan will be coming. That is to say, if I am a student, I wish to continue my school because there is no money, I can go access the government loan and go to school. And he has promised, he said, within now the next season, we're going to make sure that the exchange rate for dollar is coming down. When he came back, that was one of the first things he said.
But that was what they told us in 2015.
He was not the person that said that.
Okay. I'll leave you
He's
at
a
that.
different
Is
person.
it not the same party?
Hold on. I'm done asking the question right now,
sorry,
okay?
sorry.
So, you stay with the next
person. He's a different person.
Look, I'm going to play this tape
An
again for
individual
you.
cannot determine the exchange rate.
I'll be like,
As an
I'll
economist,
be like,
Is
I
this
don't
the
know what
way?
you
an
said.
individual cannot determine the exchange rate.
Sit down and
Wait,
say,
wait,
but
wait.
it's not
You can't just
giving
sit down.
you-
Yes, sir.
It is
You
based
have
on
the
the force
last
of
line on this
You have
discussion.
to look at the
So,
market indices.
advice to Nigerians,
Well,
and of course,
for me, May 29th will be sacrosanct in the sense that on that day will be a day of mourning for me. I will wear.
okay, for you.
Yes.
Okay,
I
not
will
for
wear-
Nigeria.
I will wear mourning.
why will it be a mourning for
I
you?
will wear mourning clothes, and I will also, be meeting with some people who will all mourn on that day for Nigeria. We will mourn on that day for Nigeria. Now we need to mourn. Yes, we need to mourn because the Bible says that wisdom is found in the house of mourning. It's not, you can't find wisdom in a club where you are drinking and dancing. And that is what Nigerians want to do on that day, celebrate. Like he has said, there's going to be another 6 months projected of pain again for Nigerians. The moment Asiwaju comes in.
Yeah, because he said you just can't, so still need to be straightened. That's what he said.
It went straight
that
there.
is
Because,
it takes 6
because
months.
it's like you are quoting him out of context right now.
No,
He's
but that is what he
straightened.
said.
Please don't quote
He
him out of
said
context.
6
We have to put things in
They
place.
said it will take 6 months. 6 months of suffering.
That's
I
what
never
he
said of
No, he
suffering.
said
No,
6
he
months
does
of
not have to say
straightening
that.
the heart.
No.
He does not have to use
I
the
never
word
said
suffering.
of
Okay,
suffering.
he has the floor. He has the floor, please.
So,
Yes.
me, I will not want to partake in one extra day of suffering and pain. So please tell your president-elect, we don't want 6 months of pain and suffering.
He
Would
is
you-
not
sorry,
our
sir.
president-elect, please.
It's not my own now.
But you're in
It's not
Nigeria.
no, it's
You
not my own.
are a
No,
Nigerian.
you see, let me tell you what Nigerian students who always take the forefront in determining how our thinking faculty should go. When Ganifa Wahimi was not made a senior advocate in this country, what did Nigerian students do?
They made a
Their own senior advocate of the
Yes.
masses.
Yes.
They made him. They gave it to him. We are our senior advocate of the masses. If the establishment will not make you, we make you our own. And they gave him SAM, and they always refer to it as his SAM, and he bought that title until the people realized that this man is supposed to be a senior advocate by this time. So we also can decide to have our own masses, we the common people. We have our own president-elect.
Yeah.
That's
our own.
Hold on.
That's
That is
treasonable.
treasonable. That is no,
treasonable.
No, that is not
Even
treason.
if
Yes.
it's your opinion, it's treasonable.
If you
No,
know
it
this,
is not.
Let's
It is
be
not.
honest.
Can I explain?
Wait. Two of you are not lawyers.
Yeah.
You don't know what is
Hold on.
treason.
Yeah.
Gentlemen,
It's not.
Gentlemen, hold on now. Thank God is the end of the program already. So please, let's be gathered on national
No, we
TV.
still have 13 minutes.
No, you don't have 13 minutes.
That's what he said. Let us
You
explain.
don't have 13 minutes. No need to explain.
we can have
No
our
need to
own.
explain. You've spoken at length. It's okay. Let's leave it at that.
Okay.
May 29 is sacrosanct. Gentlemen, I thank you so much for your opinion.
6 more
for your
months of
analysis.
suffering. Oh my
you
God.
heard them. It's like someone saying, are you not still going to see the same old story?
6 months.
As the harsh economy,
Another suffering.
insecurity, job losses, the fears is like, just palpable. But one voice said, look, all these things will be taken care of by
We see, how
President.
can we suffer for another 6
Hold
months?
on. He said,
Me, I want to be coming to this studio.
he said,
After May 29,
the
I hope I
man,
can
the
come.
president-elect,
Yeah.
he has the magic wand. And it's our own duty as Nigerians to pray for our president-elect because president come May 29. He also said at the beginning, it may not be rosy because they have to put some things in place. But after 6 months, and we hope the president-elect will confirm your word, things will get better. I pray so. Because really suffering is much, jokes apart. The suffering is much, it's palpable. It is audible to the deaf and visible to the blind. It is, you have to go to the street. You don't think I just do it here in the studio. No, I do stroll around. I walk about. I feel the pulse of Nigeria.
With bodyguards.
Which bodyguard? I'm a bodyguard on my own. One man squad. I hear what they say per time. I even go to the market. I sample opinions. I will say, tell them, oh, things are difficult. But let's hope and pray that the incoming administration will make Nigerians smile. Gentlemen, once more, appreciate you. Do it again next week Sunday, God willing. Bye for now.